see properly? Okay.
Okay. Are you sure?
So, we are on the second day of a Vipassana section. Do you have anything that you want to ask from the last week's lesson on Vipassana?
I must admit I haven't looked at it
Okay.
this week, which is because we've been so busy with central heating and things like that. Worldly things.
Okay.
But I didn't quite understand how one got from the 6 senses times 3 components, 18, and then up to 108.
If 108 what is called what is this sign called in maths?
It was 6 senses.
What is this?
What is that?
That sign?
Percentage.
No, percentage is
Divide.
divide.
Yes.
That's divide.
Yeah, if you divide 108 and divide by 6,
Mm-hmm.
then what will be outcome?
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told you.
Yeah?
So it's the sum of 6 senses plus senses with the object and the sense consciousness.
So each element,
Mm-hmm.
again, that coming into the 6 senses once more.
Okay.
I'm far behind.
And the 18 first is 6th sense, second is object, and that comes to contact with the 6 senses, and with that consciousness arises, and that comes the 18, and that is known as the elements. So that's the 18 elements of the Vipassana, the objects. And within this object, now you look at the past 18, present 18, future 18. Like that. I will give you this number, how it's divided later on.
Okay.
Next.
I'm still in the first 2.
Okay.
When you said, see, talking about the mind,
Mm-hmm.
mana,
Mm-hmm.
the first, the wall, the mind, and then comes a first division, and you call it Sita.
Chitta.
So that's the first 2 divisions.
Yes. And then the last one is the vijnana, the consciousness is the third.
No. I understand mind is different than consciousness. Is it
In different forms.
different from?
The same but in different forms.
Oh.
So mind as a whole, that includes everything. Yeah? And then the second is the chitta, is major parts. And then the third, the consciousness, is subtler, smaller parts. It's like, I say, mind is like this body, yeah? And then a chitta is like major part, hand, the whole, or whole face is like a mind. It is the chitta. And then the consciousness is like these other parts, smaller parts within the mind. And like within the head we have eyes, nose, and ears, and the mouth. So that's the smaller part within the chitta. Yeah. So with the smaller part, when it comes, and then a bigger part affects. And that bigger part is making, we're putting more information on with our perception, yeah, or with our memories, and we divide good, bad, not good, and like that. So chitta is working in that gross level. Yeah, understand?
I will. What I have in my mind, in my little understanding, is that there's consciousness and then the mind.
That's right. If you remember, I mentioned there are two types of consciousness. One consciousness coming from the previous lives, continuation of that, and then the second one is a present consciousness. And now we are not talking about the previous consciousness, but we are talking about present consciousness. That's called vijnana. Yeah?
Okay, so I was understanding this is outside human level.
This is within.
The mind. So
This is within.
so this is us.
Yes. But within our mind, there is part or kind of a genes that came from past. That it's in there, and that's called the persistent vijnanas, or it's called alaya vijnana. Yeah, alaya vijnana. So that's the different story again.
It's DNA.
Kind of a DNA. We came with that.
Yeah.
That's
Impression.
our savings.
Yeah.
That we came with that one, and then we are not working with that. We're working with the present consciousness. Yeah.
Where does it come from?
Where it come from?
Yes.
Your eye sees object,
Yes.
and then the consciousness arise. Without contact, there is no consciousness. Like that. Now you ask me.
Yes.
Now let's go to the topic.
Thank you. Yes.
I will elaborate on that now, before we go into deeper. Okay. So that's called panya. Yeah. Panya, or means to know. Yeah. So practice of Vipassana is simply developing our wisdom, knowing things as they truly are. See, knowing things as they truly are. So this is Vipassana. Yeah. Knowing things as they truly are. To know. Yeah. So know, there are three types to know. One is sanya. Another one is Vijnana. Again, see, again comes back. Vijnana, and then a third is Panya. Yeah? So Sanya is memory or perception. Yeah? Or perception. Sanya. Whereas Vijnana is know. So that's also knowledge, see? That's also knowing. Yeah? Vijnana also know. Know the object. Know the object. And Panya is knowing reality. Yeah? Maybe we're gonna stop here before we go into the deeper net. So, yeah? Anything to know. Now what we know. This is pen. This is pen because we were told. That's how we perceive. This is pen. That's how we know. That's sanya. It's a concept. Yeah? Conceptual understanding. This is sanya. So that's whatever we know now is just sanya. Yeah? And here, know the object. So now, sanya, we know this is as a pen, then we recognize it as this is the shape, the length and the color, and this is knowing the object. So that's vijnana. But you don't know yet the true nature of it. Yeah? You don't know the true nature of this pen. The panya, and this is the panya, the vipassana, yeah? Panya, vipassana, is knowing the reality of it. And what is the reality? Yeah? Reality is impermanence, suffering, and non-existence or non-self.
That's the illusion.
This is illusion.
Yeah.
But we take it as a reality simply because of the memory and then knowing now. But not the reality. So that's why this is conventional truth.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah? These two are conventional truth, not the reality yet. But the practice of a meditation, on the basis of these two realities, we are having a true understanding, the reality. Yeah? So this is conventional truth, or there are so many words, so many names for it. Conventional truth. It's called worldly truth, conceptual truth, conditioned truth. What else? Something like that. And whereas this truth is the reality, the ultimate truth. Yeah? It's
Which
called
one?
this panya is the ultimate truth. Because that truth is beyond the concepts, beyond the concepts. Because this truth is known through the practice and understanding. Also known as the Bhavanamaya Panya. Yeah? Bhavanamaya Panya. Yeah? Bhavana means the cultivation, or investigation, reflection. Yeah? Bhavanamaya Panya. And that simply you have practiced properly. So that's why there's another form of acquiring a knowledge. It's called 3 forms. Yeah? So Sutta, Suttamaya Panya, and then Chintamaya Panya. So we are off today, okay? Chintamaya Panya, which is not in our curriculum, but because you ask, I'm just giving you how it generates. So Chintamaya Panya, investigation, or knowledge that acquire by yourself, your investigation. Suttamaya Panya, knowledge acquired by hearing or reading. Hearing from someone, knowledge. And this is
From you.
yeah, something like that. And this one is you have investigated properly with full investigation. And then you have realized this. And that is the Bhavanamaya Panya. And this will be the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth.
That Bhavanamaya, the ultimate truth, is outside our illusionary world.
Yes. The state is simply abandoned means no, yeah?
When you leave everything.
No, it's not that. It's like having a light in the darkness. So that's the Bhavanamaya Panya.
Thank you.
Devoid of delusion.
Yeah, that's very high. Buddha state.
So that's a devoid of delusion.
Because all that knowing the reality with all these disciplines, either meditating or using the intellect, is still is for our understanding of this conventional reality.
Yeah. All what we know by listening someone, reading somewhere, that's just from here. Yeah. And those scientists are from here.
Chintamaya.
Scientists, they have a scientific mind, investigating and then coming to conclusion with putting this and that, then this become one, or like that, like H2O. Two hydrogens combined with one oxygen, that makes water, like that. So this is the reason.
There's still an element of conditioned reality in that, isn't there?
Yes, that's
because these are labels that previous scientists have put on things that they've either been taught or learned or whatever. Yeah,
that's why it's not the true reality yet. It is conditioned reality. But this one is unconditioned because you have understood the reality as they are.
How many lives do you need to live to practice it to get to Bhavanamaya?
In fact, we are in this process. We are working in that process. That's why we have an opportunity to in learning these things. There are millions of people still wandering in these two states of knowledge. Still in two knowledges, not in that knowledge yet. The very moment when we have this knowledge, there will be no conflict. There will be no desire there will be no anger. We have anger because of these two. I know, but you don't know, so you should believe me. I have read, I have seen. What you know is not true. And this one, oh, you just know, but I have investigated. I know how to measure it. I know how to put these things and that things and how the reality comes in. Now, you never know. You never studied physics. Someone comes and tells you about the physics and the reality, the whole world in terms of the physics. And you are explaining to the farmer, will he understand? Yeah, so will not understand. Like there is a story. It's called swimmingology. Yeah, David knows this story. Swimmingology.
Criminology.
Swimmingology.
Swimming.
Swimming.
Oh, so thank you.
Swimmingology.
I see how Suhan is going to talk about crime. In my hearing, sorry about it. Criminology.
The story says that, or maybe I will bring the book and read it out.
Yeah, please. I went to this talk of Brian Cox, and it was pretty good, you know, with the questions that we have here to have.
Okay.
It sometimes takes my attention to hand because Maya, there's a Maya culture, and Maya means the illusion. And talking to natives, you know, and Mayans, one of them told me, we are the guardians of the time. And I wish to have stayed there talking to him, but that's what I remember.
This Maya is different.
Yeah, thank you. That's my question.
This is two. Maya. This is ma. This is no ma. This is ma. This is ma means this Maya. This is Maya means the condition. Depending.
Condition.
Depending on the base. Yeah. So on the base of on the base of investigation, wisdom arise like that. Whereas this one is illusion. Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. This is illusion. Yes.
That's the illusion. Thank you, Sukha.
Okay. Oh, actually, both Maya, not Maya.
Maya.
Maya. Okay, so the knowledge about this swimmingology. Yeah? Once a young, so this is from this book called Vipassana.
Oh.
Yeah, Vipassana. And this is the simile given to how to develop this understanding. But here, in this story, is not talking about this one, talking about these two. Yeah? So, once a young professor was making a sea voyage. He was a highly educated man with a long tail of letters after his name. But he had little experience of life. In the crew of the ship on which he was traveling was an illiterate old sailor. Every evening the sailor would visit the cabin of the young professor to listen to him hold forth on many different subjects. He was very impressed with the learning of this young man. One evening, as the sailor was about to leave the cabin after several hours of conversation, the professor asked, "Old man, have you studied geology?" Huh? And the sailor said, "What is that, sir?" Yeah? And this professor said, "The science of the earth." "Oh no, sir, I have never been to any school or college. I have never studied anything." "Old man, you have wasted a quarter of your life." With a long face, the old sailor went away. If such a learned person says so, certainly it must be true. He thought, "I have wasted a quarter of my life." Next evening again, as the sailor was about to leave the cabin, the professor asked him again, "Old man, have you studied oceanography?"
Oceanography.
Yeah, oceanography. "What is that, sir?" the sailor asks. And the professor says, "The science of the sea." "Oh no, sir, I have never studied anything about oceanography." And this professor said, "Old man, you have wasted half your life."
Good. Terrible.
With a still longer face, the sailor went away. "I have wasted half of my life. This learned man says so." You know? Actually, there is another further sentence supposed to be here. Say, the professor said to the sailor that your life been on the ocean most of the time, and yet you do not know about the oceans. You never study the oceans. That made him even more down before he left. Yeah? And the next evening, once again, the young professor questioned the old sailor. "Old man, have you studied meteorology?" "What is that, sir?" And "I have never even heard of it." And that's me too. I've also never heard about this. So, why the science of the wind, the rain, the weather? "No, sir. As I told you, I have never been to any school. I have never studied anything." And the professor says, "You have not studied the science of the earth on which you live? You have not studied the science of the sea on which you earn your livelihood? You have not studied the science of the weather which you encounter every day? Old man, you have wasted 3/4 of your life."
Good Lord. Going higher.
The old sailor was very unhappy. "This learned man says that I have wasted 3/4 of my life. Certainly I must have wasted 3/4 of my life." The next day it was the turn of the old sailor. He came running to the cabin of the young man and cried, "Professor, have you studied swimminology?" Swimology, not swimminology, swimology. "Swimology?" Professor said. "What do you mean?" And then the sailor said, "Can you swim, sir?" And then the professor said, "No, I don't know how to swim." And then the old sailor said, "Professor, you have wasted all your life. The ship has struck a rock and is sinking. Those who can swim may reach the near shore, but those who cannot swim will drown. I'm so sorry, Professor Sir. You have surely lost your life. You may study all the ologies of the world, but if you do not learn swimology, all your studies are useless. You may read and write books on swimming. You may debate on its subtle theoretical aspects, but how will that help you if you refuse to enter the water yourself? You must learn how to swim. So that swimminology is here.
My personal experience.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's personal experience. And that experience is true. It doesn't matter when, how, it's with you. Yeah? So that's the Bhavanamaya Panya we're talking about. And this Panya is the Vipassana that we are looking for. Yeah? That we are looking for.
Thank you.
And here, before we go further, since we are coming to catch this one anyway, and since we have discussed on this, in our practice, first when we start meditating, we were given the memory, sanya, given the object, and we remember that object again and again, consciously aware of it. And that's why when we are meditating, sometimes we see different signs and different objects and experiencing very different kinds of a world. So this is from sanya coming. And in that case, sometimes we need to be very, very careful. Very careful in the practice. Whatever you experience, we need to judge very mindfully. Sometimes what we achieve, we take it as a truth. Mind can play trick here. You are enlightened. Your mind can tell you that you are enlightened. You have known all the things that you should know on the meditation. You have practiced well. You're well qualified. You don't need any teacher. You don't need any practice. You're fully enlightened. So mind is playing trick here. Like that. So in that case, we need to be very, very careful. That's why there is a practice of knowing the mind. Knowing the mind, or you may have heard observing the observer. Observing the observer, like that. So that's from there.
But then
the knowledge is simply there to recognize it. And another one is you know a little bit of a detail of it.
Sugano, when you mentioned that the mind can deceive you, well, the mind is probably always deceiving us. Then it sounds to me like a separate entity.
It's not a separate entity, it's a conditioned entity.
But then it's above my will.
About your will,
Yes.
you have your identity. You're putting your existence. You're putting your want. You're explaining your desire. You're explaining your existence. And that's how you're making that. The very moment when you realize that nothing is permanent, then what left? So that's the concept of understanding. If you remember, we were, not you, beginning of this third lesson, we were talking about the few words, 6 or 7 words, yeah, becoming a dispassionate, dispassionate, or this enchantment on things that we observe, and then later on we become a viraga. The viraga. That's why we were studying the base of it before we come to these main things. And Visuddhi also we studied. And there's a viraga, this passion. Yeah? Not in this. So I didn't make a.
Lose an interest.
Yes.
For worldly things. It's like becoming not interested in.
But that, yeah, thank you.
Detached.
Yeah.
Some
No.
Conceptual things.
It doesn't sounds to me cruel.
No, it's not cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just giving you a reality. And this is the reality. And that's the problem, is we cannot accept that reality, and that's how we feel cruel. Because we want to exist.
Sorry, we feel what?
Cruel.
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 Yes, being dispassionate.
Like
Yes.
No, the meaning of the word, that you don't have compassion.
This passion is
No passion. No
Yeah,
passion.
yeah.
Right, so
this enchantment. You're not entertaining in that, because understanding that this is subject to change. This is subject to change. Nothing to hold on that this must not change.
Yeah.
Like that.
but if you are seeing suffering,
Yes.
you know,
Sorry, what was that?
then
discussion about football.
Changes all the time.
it helps a lot having this understanding to avoid put myself in that and seeing it even like help even a little
So that's why in this practice, the Vipassana practice, we are not looking out there. We are not looking out there. We are looking here. We are looking here, within this body. And if we look at this body properly, then nothing to praise about, nothing to be enchanted. How beautiful. If we do not take a shower for 2 days, stinky.
one day.
Yeah, like that. So there's nothing to enchant. Actually, Buddha said that Vacca kutyam midam sariram. So it says Vacca kuting idam sariram. Vacca kutyam idam sariram. Yeah? This whole mass of body is like a toilet. Is like a toilet. Vacca kuti means toilet.
Okay.
Idam, this. Sariram,
Idam.
yeah, sariram is this body.
Some mess.
Yeah?
Idam sarinam.
Sariram. Sariram.
Sariram.
Vacca kutam idam sariram. So this whole mass of body is like a toilet. Nothing to praise about. Everything is there. Is so stinky, so waste. And yet, because of this flesh covering, it's become a beautiful. Not seeing the reality within this body.
Thanks God.
Yeah? So that is, and a practice of meditation is to see that.
I remember a story. There was one very beautiful girl, and she became enlightened and became a nun.
Mm-hmm.
And she met a man who fell in love with her beauty, and he followed her and prayed, marry me. And the girl said to him, what do you like the most of me? And he thought, oh, if I say the body, that it will be too lust. And he said, I like your eyes. So she took one eye out of her face and said, take it, if you like my eyes. I read it.
Okay.
A similar story is there. There's a venerable...
I hope nobody likes me. I'm going to give him anything.
There is a story. A Venerable Ananda. Venerable Ananda was very handsome, very subtle, and very kind. And one day he was coming back from his arms. He was coming back from his arms, and he was very thirsty. So he approached to a girl, slave, untouchable girl, who was there to collect the water from the pond. And Ananda asks for water to drink. And this slave understood this Venerable Ananda came from the royal family, and said, oh no, Venerable, you cannot touch or you cannot drink water that I have touched, because I am untouchable. And Venerable Ananda said, I didn't ask your caste, I'm asking water. Would you please give me your water? And she fell in love with him. Heartfelt. Oh, so kind. Huh? And then she followed him. Because she fell in love. She followed him until the temple. Until the temple. And then she went to see the Buddha. And then said, I love Venerable Ananda. He's so kind. He's so handsome. He's so lovely. And then when the Buddha asked her, which one is the beauty in Ananda? And then she said, his eyes are so beautiful. And then Buddha said, if you look at it now, it's beautiful, but it gives you what's called when you wake up, what's the small bits of it's coming out.
We call it sleep.
Okay.
It's
the sleeps are there.
Crust.
Yes.
Crusty.
Yeah, crusty, these things. The sleep is there. Do you still like it? Oh no. And then nose. And then Buddha said, nose? Look what's coming out from the nose. All dirty things.
Buddha is worse than you, Lena. Sure. That's true, just talking.
Huh? So Buddha went part by part, and then at the end she realized the beauty is not there. But beauty is there when we are deluded. Yeah? When our mind is deluded, then when we see, because of our desire, that become beautiful.
Maya.
Yeah? That became beautiful. But the very moment when we understood the reality of it in its true nature, then nothing to be known as the beauty. And there's another story as well, and you may remember. It was a very beautiful lady in the town, and everybody just wanted to see her beauty, and people traveling from far and wide. It's like a beauty contest, Miss Beauty of the city, yeah, and those days Miss Beauty of the country. And one of the monks fell in love. Yeah, one of the men fell in love with her, and then because he wanted to see her, he became a monk. Because she offered her food, alms in the morning. So he became a monk, simply hoping that one day I will have an opportunity to see this beautiful lady. Yeah? And somehow, after a few, a while later, his turn came, and he was very excited. Yeah? He was very excited. Oh, I'm going to see this beautiful lady. And the story said he couldn't sleep. So morning he went on with the bowl, and with other monks went to his palace, and then collected the food. After he collected the food, he looked at this lady, and then he was so in love with her beauty. In love with her beauty. He comes back home with her as a temple. He doesn't eat food. He is just thinking, visualizing her beauty. Yeah? For a few days. And the story says the food rotten. And he is still sleeping, dreaming about this beauty. And somehow this lady dies. Yeah? This lady dies.
I want this one relation.
And then Buddha knew the story. So Buddha asked the king, Pasandi, to keep this body for 7 days. Yeah? Keep this body for 7 days without burning it. Now those days, no medicine. If you put it outside, what happens?
Rots from the
Rots. Yeah? So left it for 7 days, and then after 7 days, Buddha told the king to invite all the citizens in the city, because every one of them always desire to see, to get, to have a relationship with this beautiful lady of the country. So king ordered, people came, and now is an auction of this body. Yeah? So it started from, let's say, 100 pounds. Who wants to have this beautiful lady's? Nobody came forward. Come down 50, come down 30, 20, 10. Nothing. And nobody wants this beautiful lady anymore. Huh? And then a monk who didn't eat was there too. And having seen the beauty faded away, he realized nothing is permanent. So beauty is the beauty when our mind is there. Yeah? When we have a desire. then now seeing that true reality of this beauty is no beauty is that knowledge of understanding, see, and impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Yeah? And that is the Vipassana. And that's why Vipassana means knowing or seeing it distinctively, very differently, clearly, and vividly, which has nothing to do with our concepts. Nothing to do with our concepts. It's true reality. Knowing the conditions, and that is the wisdom, and that is the vidya. Vidya, wisdom. And that vidya is simply devoid of a delusion. Now you're breaking the chain in the dependent origination. From avidya, ignorance, you're having a vidya, wisdom. So when you have a wisdom, you're not reacting to anything at all. You just simply observe it. Okay, this it is. You have nothing relationship with it. No relationship with anything that arises. With that, there is no creation. Because you're not reacting with your deluded mind. There is no greed, there is no hatred. So you just dropped it. And with that, your every action simply just sake of action. It hasn't got any reactions. Action has no reaction. And that's the way in Buddhism the noble ones do. All the noble beings, those who enlightened, their action is simply action, no reaction. And that's how they end. Whereas we, everything that we react with either liking, disliking, or just sake of we want it, or just sake of a pleasure, or sake of want it to be like this, or don't want it to be like that. And because of these conditions, then we react into a good way, avoiding the bad ways, rejecting the bad ways, like that. And the very moment when we react in that way, that's called sankhara. See, formation. So we are forming it. We are creating it by ourselves. When we create, then that exists. Once it is exist, then that's my creation. That belongs to me. I must take care of it. I must look after it until my death. So, and that's how we develop our grasping nature. We develop our strong attachment to the things that we create. And the more we become attached to these views, these creations, these formations, then we are going far, far, far away from the soul. We just floated away in the vast ocean of called the samsara, right? Cycle of a birth and a death. Like that. Okay. So it seems like we are not touching on the lessons I supposed to teach. Okay.
Perhaps next time don't ask us if we have any questions.
But it is good, and at least you went into how this forms into deeper, to develop the panya, or the vipassana, the true vipassana. And actually with this, then after this think we touched the Visuddhi last week, purification, and that purification begins as well in here, but we will talk later with that one. Okay. Right. So I think we will end here for tonight. Okay. So that's simply today we are talking about the difference between sanya, vijnana, panya, and then how panya develops. And again, within these there are so many details as well, how we generate and what types and like that. And this is a conventional truth and the ultimate truth, and that is knowing the reality as they truly are. And when we realize that is the true panya, wisdom, and that's the vijja, and that vijja is the vipassana. Okay? And that vipassana is to realize the disenchantment, this passionate, and then knowing things as they truly are from your own experiential level. And then when you realize that, then you realize that you have realized it. And that's another form again. You realize that you have realized. And then once you have realized it, then vimutti jnana dasana, so you are liberated. And when you are liberated, and again you have vimutti jnana dasana, that you have understood that you are liberated. And that's the end. Okay? That's why it's not just the liberation ends. You have to know that you are liberated too.
And sorry, and am I correct? One can only know that by personal experience.
Yes.
And that's the difference between Sutta Maya and Siddha Maya on the one hand,
Yes.
and Bhavana Maya on the other.
And within the Bhavana Maya Panya, again, you have to know that you have realized it, you
Yes.
see. Not just your realization is finished. No, you have to know that you have realized it. And this realization is beyond, again, your experience.
Yes, and then there is a long, long path to work with hindrances, because after that momentary liberation, you have to do it every time.
Yeah. It's become a process.
True.
And then end of the day, you're liberated. So let's go vimutti jnana dasana. Right, okay, so this is for tonight. Okay, let's do the loving kindness meditation. You may take a few coarse breaths, releasing yourself from tensions and tiredness, and relax. Relax both body and the mind in this present moment. you may settle down yourself for a few moments on the primary object, rising, falling. As it rises and as it falls. Settling down, grounding yourself. And for a few moments reflecting on tonight's lesson, Vipanya, types of Vipanya, and how to generate those Panya, how to cultivate Panya, what does it mean Panya? So Panya simply means to know, or knowledge. Knowledge can be a memory or perception. And knowledge can be a perception, understanding the objects, but not fully understood the reality of it. And the Panya is knowing knowing it in its true nature. Now we will practice the loving kindness meditation. So relax yourself, aware of the present moment, both body and mind. Allowing yourself to be happy, at peace, free from suffering. Free from worries, and feeling it from your heart. A feeling of sense of a happiness, well-being. Or you may tell yourself, may I be happy? And feeling the sense of a happiness throughout the body and the mind. May I be well. May I be at peace. May I be free from suffering. And similarly sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near tier 1. Wishing them to be happy, at peace, free from suffering, free from hatred, hurtfulness, any negativities. Opening your mind and heart and sending this kindness and compassion. Wishing them to be happy, at peace and free from suffering. Whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings, in this place, in this temple, in this city, in this country, on earth, in the universe. May they be happy, at peace and free from suffering. And gently coming out from meditation as we hear the gong. Let's pay respect to Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantam Abhivademi Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Okay. Wish you all the best. May you be prosperous in the teachings. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Okay. That was very helpful actually.
Yeah?
Covering that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.